Alright, what is up guys? JaretCampisi with my good buddy Dado. Welcome back to the channel. Today is a really exciting day because we have a random 60-degree day in the middle of February. So we're gonna make the best of it. We're gonna be putting brake-in miles on our 2021 Yamaha R1M, and Dado's gonna be riding it for the very first time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. All right, so as I mentioned, brake-in miles, that's one of the big things we're gonna be trying to accomplish today. The reason why putting brake-in miles is so important is because before we can start modifying any of the performance parts of the bike, we have to get a stock dyno run, and in order to do that, we have to get to 400 to 500 miles. You're supposed to do 600 miles so that we can do the first service, get the oil change, do all the first service updates, and then we can put it on the dyno and get a stock base number, and then we can compare that later to our performance numbers after we do all of our performance mods. Don't forget, this is our next giveaway bike, so you can sign up on the Patreon page right now, patreon.com/Campisi Customs. You'll be entered to win this Yamaha R1M and our full carbon Panigale V4 SP. So a lot of things going on right now. I'm super excited. We haven't been out on the bikes in a long time, and honestly it's supposed to get cold again in the next couple of days, so this is like a very rare thing to be happening. But yeah, Dado was saying this is his first time seeing it in the sun, and the fit and finish on this bike is incredible, right?
Oh yeah. Like,
it's insane. The flex in the paint on the black parts, I didn't even realize that was really like a sparkle paint, and then the aluminum is brushed, but then it's painted all next to it, but it almost looks like that aluminum's painted. It's like, it's just so well done, and trust me, we know a little bit about finishing on tanks. Yeah. Don't we, Dado? Yeah. After the monster fiasco. But I think the first thing we should do is just start this up. This is gonna be Dado's first time riding the new platform of the R1M. So he has an 05 R1 that he's had for a very long time, and I'm curious to see what he thinks. I do wanna clear up a few things from my first ride video. I mentioned that there was a clutch master, and yes, it's just a cable. I'm so used to all the Ducati clutches that have pressure clutch, which means it has fluids in there. So obviously you can't replace this, right, Dado? There's nothing like to upgrade that because it's cable. Right. Is that how that works? Okay.
I mean, unless the cable goes bad, that's it.
Right. Really, okay. So that's one thing I wanted to point out, and the other thing I wanted to point out, people complaining about me saying so. It is a Nissan Master, but apparently they're ADV actual calipers. But regardless of what they are, they're terrible. And Dado will find that out very quickly. I think that they will break in a little bit and maybe bed in the padding and stuff like that, but they're gonna get replaced regardless. But it is a very common thing if you go search Yamaha R1M brake, or any from 2015 on, Yamaha R1M brake issues, you'll see a lot of people complaining about that. It wasn't just me. So I mean, they're not as good as Brembo brakes. That's just what it is, but it's not a big deal. Very easy to fix and change out, so totally fine. Do you want to start it up, Dado?
Yeah.
Start that puppy up. We need to let this warm up. Don't forget, this is a numbered bike. This is 1281, which is super cool. Give us a start.
How many are they making?
We don't know, and they don't list how many they make each year, but I would say maybe 1,000 or 2, you know, something, not very many. So it is a numbered, limited bike. Yeah, so yeah, all of this down here really kills the sound. Just for an example, remember how bad my Diablo sounded? Now listen to it. So that's a stock bike, and then I'll give you a little sound of what happens when you put an exhaust on one. You ready? Oh my God. Yeah, so we're gonna let these warm up. We'll give you some revs and then we'll get on the street. All right, this is nice and warmed up. Dado's gonna give you a couple revs. It sounds incredible. That's not even tuned yet. You can turn it off. Down, yeah. Isn't that ridiculous? I told him we got to turn that off if we're going to hear the R1M at all. So that's just with a full Termi system, or it's a slip-on Termi titanium system, and then it has a sprint filter. It's going to be getting flash from Bren Tuning once we find some time. Dado and I to do it. I just needed it to be warm enough to ride over to his house, basically. And then don't worry, that's just water dripping. That's no big deal. Let's hear some revs of this bad boy. You can hear it in there, you know?
Yeah, up higher.
Yeah, you can hear it in there. It's gonna be, we're gonna put a full tie system on this thing, and it's gonna be nasty. We got 35 miles. We're gonna try to get out for an hour or so today and get some break-in miles on it. So I'm gonna start off on the R1M. I'll give you guys my take on how to break in a motorcycle. Then we'll get Dado on it and we'll see what he thinks of the new platform. All right, here we are, folks. Back on a bike. It's been a freaking while and it feels good. Still a little chilly. It's in the 50s today, but hey, we'll take it. So like I said, the main part about this video is breaking in a bike and then getting Dado on this bike. When it comes to breaking in a motorcycle, I feel like Dado and I are pretty much on the same page when it comes to this. Pretty much just don't be crazy. Don't be bouncing it off the red line. Take your time, let the bike come up to temperature. There's obviously the engine needs to break in, the tires need to break in, the brakes, the clutch, the gearbox, everything's breaking in. And I think that's one of the reasons why manufacturers really tell you not to ride it above 7,000, 8,000, just because it's a liability thing for them, in my opinion. Now, look, if something's gonna break, it's gonna happen in the first probably 600 miles or so, if there was something put together with the motor wrong. But there's no such thing as, bikes don't come with break-in oil anymore. Motors well, engines are put together so well by machines and stuff that, like, there's really not issues anymore that need to be sorted out during a break-in process. So it's not like it used to be 20 years ago. Mainly what I do, like I said, is I just ride the bike and I have fun. Let's go right, Dado. I think people get so worried about following the manufactured break-in and they just sit there and stare at their RPMs and they think that if they go above 8,000 their bike's gonna break. You don't have to worry about that. I've broken in about 10 motorcycles in the past 3 years and I've just ridden them and had fun with them and treated them well, and I've never had a single problem with any bike that we've ever worked on. What do you think, Dado?
I totally agree, and that's why a lot of bikes, they don't really get unlocked per se, like full power until they have their first service. So.
Yeah, that's another reason why we need to get the break-in done on this, because some bikes like the BMW, for example, that bike doesn't even let you go above 8,000 RPMs. It literally limits you at 8,000. This bike, and I was talking about that in the first ride, Dado, the BMW felt like a 300. Yeah, literally during its break-in period. This actually does feel like it's not as limited, but manufacturers will actually limit like torque during the break-in period, like they did that with the new Corvettes. And sometimes you have to get the first service done at the dealership before it'll actually even unlock the full power per se. But we're going to be flashing it anyway after we do the full system, so that's not going to matter in our case. But God, that bike sounds so good, Dado. But I mean, that's honestly, I've done so many videos on breaking in motorcycles. I don't want to like beat a dead horse, and my feelings on the subject really hasn't changed. It's just, don't be an idiot, basically, is what it comes down to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we're gonna put some gas in the Lamborghini Diavolo, and I do have a lot of mods coming for this too. It's just been neglected because of how busy we've been with the build series. All right, we're all gassed up. So Dado's throttles. Actually, before I ask you, I will add one more thing to breaking in a motorcycle. I think one of the most important things that you should not do is just like long highway miles on a bike at the same speed, because that can cause piston rings to float. And what you're really trying to do is seat those piston rings really well. And in order to do that, you want to be constantly varying RPMs, speeding up, slowing down, basically putting the engine under load, and that's how you get a proper break-in. So that's everything I have to say about breaking in a motorcycle. Dado, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes. So, like you mentioned, varying the RPMs,
yes.
Let the engine brake for you.
Yes.
So accelerate and decelerate by just letting off the throttle, yes. Simply, which, yep. And that allows the bedding of the piston rings. And also, you got to think there's other moving components like camshaft, crankshaft, yep. Bearings, transmission components, all that stuff. So everything, all the moving components that are brand new are essentially going to
mate.
Exactly, and you're going to get a little bit of wear and tear there. That's where that first service shavings. Is really important. Yeah, you're going to get some shavings. So I'm not sure how many manufacturers are still doing break-in oil, but a lot of them are not.
Right.
And then the only other thing that I wanted to mention was you got to realize that, you know, besides the bike really not being, most of the newer motorcycles not being, you know, factory unlocked until the first service or so, but you got to worry about the tires. So tire manufacturers have even gotten way better, but, you know, a brand new tire will let out some oils and some chemicals from the molding process, so you want to make sure you're not hammering through corners.
Very slippy.
Yes, yep, and you're not, you know, dragging knee on your first couple of rides. So
so true.
Yep, and honestly, like you know, you see the guys that are always doing this on the road.
Yeah.
Really, the best way to like bed in a tire or scrub in a tire, and this is just personal opinion. Of course, I'm going to get, you know, bitched at for this because everybody's got their opinion how to do it.
Yeah.
Tires also scrub in best when you are accelerating and decelerating.
Yep.
You know, slamming on your brakes and stuff isn't really, I mean, technically, yes, it's helping, but, you know, you doing the contact patch a million times is not going to help bed your tire.
I've heard that doesn't actually heat up your tires any faster. That's
Correct.
what I heard, too.
Yeah, so, but letting the tire warm up by riding it on preferably warmer
surfaces.
You know, surfaces, and then also just putting some time on the tire before you take on and hammer on it lets the compound heat up and release all that garbage that's in there. Like I said, tire manufacturers have come a long way, so the tires, you know, have gotten a lot better than they used to. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. There's really not much else to mention. There's tiny little stuff here and there.
I have a question.
Brake pads, stuff like that.
Yeah, I have a question for you regarding engine break-in.
Yes.
So, as you mentioned, there's all kinds of parts that are mating in and little tiny shavings that are coming off and all that. Does it matter how long, like if you take a year to get your first 600 miles on the motor and there's more shavings floating around in there longer, do you think that that's worse than just going out in a week or two and getting your break-in miles and getting that oil out of there? Do you think that's better for the bike?
So there's a lot of, once again, it depends on the bike and the manufacturer, but a lot of the drain plugs will have
magnets.
A magnet on it, so it catches a lot of the metal shavings, and then also your oil filter is going to catch a lot of those deposits. Gotcha. Your oil pump's going to suck that up, and hopefully before it's sloshing around too much inside your engine. And then it's normal to have, I mean, a regular, you know, engine that doesn't have high miles on it is still going to have wear and tear, just not as much as in a tired engine and a brand new engine.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
Seeing some metal shavings is a normal thing, you know?
Yeah. Listen to that thing, dude. Oh! I can't wait to get the flash on that thing, dude. But how does it feel? It didn't feel like it was bogging down as much for me when I was riding it in the cold. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the flash is going to take care of so much.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because essentially, I think it almost, to me, it almost feels like it's running too lean.
Yep, that's what I thought too. Which is going to cause it to feel like it's bogging down, right? Like you're not getting the throttle when you're giving it throttle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. I'm super stoked to get
not exhaust.
Oh man, I know. Imagine this. Imagine
you can't hear it right now.
That cross-plane engine with an exhaust and a tune.
I think we're gonna fall in love. Both of us are gonna fall in love with it. But I will say, at least, like the brakes on this, no, they're still pretty bad.
Are they?
Nothing happens, dude. Hit the brakes on that thing. Yeah, they're freaking good. But I want to get you on this. I think that's everything we need to cover regarding braking in a bike.
Yeah.
At this point, we just need to ride this thing and get a couple hundred miles on it, you know, so we can change the oil and put it on the dyno.
Oh yeah, kids, don't forget to put air in your tires before you go take it on the first ride.
Yeah, that's really true. Remember my Diavo air pressure? That one day they were like 20 pounds under. All right, yeah, we're pulling into the lot where Dado came and saved us when my dad got his flat. Oh, it's a church parking lot. Shout out to this church. So let's get, I can't wait to see.
Shout out to this church. Thanks, guys.
Let's give them some revs. Let's give the church some revs. Leave the bikes on. Look how far this leans over, Dado. That sounds so good. Yeah, I can't wait to see what Dado thinks.
You know what I think?
What?
This definitely said it was in first gear.
Really?
It said it was in first gear and I let the clutch out, nothing happened, and then it goes, nah, it's neutral.
Hey, typical Ducati, right?
Ducati. At least it's still in one piece, you know?
I know, right?
All the Loctite.
Oh, I love this bike. How much do you love this bike?
I'm tippy-toeing over here.
Yeah, dude, that bike's high, man. Isn't
Super
it?
high, look at this.
Yeah, I know. Teens tried to get on it when we were filming her M1000 video. She could barely touch the ground. Like, she was literally she couldn't touch it all. Her legs were just like hanging. It was hilarious.
I can get, this is about a
the ball of your foot. That's
like,
pretty good.
On both, you know?
It has a really wide seat. See, I said the same thing, Dado, in the review. I was like, if you're a shorter rider, this is not going to be a good bike for you because the seat is so wide and it's really high up.
Damn, this suspension is very soft.
Well, so, yeah, well, it's electronic suspension, so you can change that. You can adjust that, which is cool. But do you see how small the dash is?
It's a little.
It's just a tiny guy, especially coming from Christina's M1000, which has like an 8-inch screen or something like that. Yeah. That's just a little 3 or 3.5.
It's hilarious because I feel like my phone is
so you're in A mode, which is full power. I didn't change any of the rider modes though, so it's all default settings. But that's basically like track mode. So just a heads up.
Power is on 1, traction control is on 3, SCS 2, EBM 1.
Yeah, so that's kind of what their track settings are, you know?
Got it.
All right, let's try it out.
All right.
I'll follow you. The clutch lets out really late.
Whee!
First time Dado riding, go for it. Just go. You're good. We're going right.
Clutch is weird.
I know, it lets out really late, right?
All right. Oh, it feels like an R1, dude.
Does it?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it felt a lot more uncomfortable than yours.
I feel like my head is over the front end.
Yeah, right?
That's the first thing. It is actually more uncomfortable than mine at a first impression, but I will tell you, it is a lot more. We're going to go right here.
Okay.
It is a lot more aggressive, and it makes me feel like I want to go faster. You know?
I mentioned that in the first ride. In 2015, when they changed the whole platform, Yamaha was very open about the fact that it was built for the track. They didn't give a shit about how it felt on the street. They just wanted it to go around the track as fast as possible. And you can tell in the way it looks and in the way it rides. Yeah, that's how it wants you to be.
Wow.
When you're slid back on that seat, see how even it feels more maneuverable too, Dado, like flickable.
Oh, dude, the bike just feels like it wants to go by itself. Well, you just like point it, you know?
Dude, you look really good on that.
I don't know, I'm a Yamaha guy at heart. So.
You really are. Hey, hop on the right-hand side of the road. Let me come up and look at you. Let me get a view of you on that thing. See how you look. Damn, dude.
How is it?
It looks really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What about this?
The tail section looks so dope, so clean. This? Yeah, that looks badass.
When I leave you dust?
So, hit those brakes once.
Ooh, they're a little floaty.
Right?
Yeah. I almost feel like if you weren't changing out the brake system completely, you would definitely need to get different brake pads because these feel like crap.
Yeah,
and for a bike that's you know, it's purpose built for a track, that's pretty shameful.
I agree, and actually a lot of the journalists that rode this bike on the track shootouts said that not only were the brakes pretty weak overall, but they had a lot of brake fade too. So yeah. I think that's just one of those areas that they cheaped out on a little bit, you know.
Okay.
It has some power, right?
Yeah, it feels really healthy.
For a bone stock bike. Yeah, like
I don't know why, but like when I'm on an R1, I feel so much more comfortable opening it up than most bikes. I don't know if it's like a mental thing.
Well, you rode them for so long. Think about it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And like you can almost feel that engine vibration from the crossplane.
Yeah, dude.
Crazy.
You can hear the engine right beneath you since you can't hear it through the exhaust.
I love that.
Dude, that bike looks incredible. I'm not gonna lie.
Just imagine when we get the exhaust and everything else on it.
Oh, I know.
Sorry, but I keep flicking the throttle and letting off to bed it in a little bit, you know, break it in.
Yes.
Yeah, it feels very natural to me to be on this bike.
I think that it definitely feels dated to me compared to the Panigale and even the BMW.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things that you know how manufacturers are. They have to. If you're looking at performance and look and styling and quality, you have to not cut corners, but you have to give and take.
Yep.
So I think like the screen on this one, they're more worried about the rider looking over the bike than they are looking down at the dash. You know.
Yep.
So
I think looks-wise, it looks awesome. I think it really looks good. You're sending so many rocks into me.
I'm doing what? What'd you say?
I said I'm getting hit by so many rocks.
Yeah, there's a lot of cinders on the road.
Oh my, they're literally chinking my helmet, hitting me. Yeah, everywhere.
Well, just keep back a little.
Yeah. But no, I think looks-wise, I think it actually looks really good. It's one of my favorite looking bikes, no joke. Just stock out of the box. But when it comes to the gearbox, the quick shifter, the power, and then the electronics, and even the clutch, it all feels just a tiny bit dated. And to be fair, this bike was really built in 2015. They haven't really changed it much since then. But at the same time, I kind of like that mechanical feel.
I was just going to say that, you know, I'm all about the raw bike, the mechanical feel, the simplicity, you know, coming from somebody that actually has to work on his bike.
Yeah.
You know, fixing stuff is so easy. Like, there's no hydraulic components to fail on the clutch. You know, everything feels very, very raw, even though, like, the suspension and everything else, it's got, you know, ABS and electronic suspension and stuff like that. It still feels like a very raw bike, and it belongs on the track.
Yeah, it does. They did a good job with that.
I'm still a little weary about these roads. So.
Dude, the rocks that are coming off that bike. Holy shit.
I feel it every now and then, like just like a little squirm, you know?
Yeah. So there's a lot of dust.
Hey, did you test the mirrors yet?
No. Oh yeah, I did try them, yeah. I'm on your left.
Sorry.
You kind of have to move your arm either in or out.
I can't see shit.
Yeah, fuck mirrors. Alright, so I was letting Dado kind of ride it a little bit, feel things out a little bit more. So what do you think, Dado?
Alright, so there's so many similarities with my R1. I noticed that very, very torquey down low. The gearing is insane. You can probably wind this out to like, I don't know, when it's broken in, probably hit close to 100 miles an hour in first gear.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Yeah, and it's very, very, like, feeling the engine below you and hearing the sound of the engine, especially now that we don't have an exhaust on it, is incredible.
Yep,
that crossplane is just,
especially when you're tucked.
Yeah, yep. And then it feels like, I don't know if you were filming when I said it, but you sit very aggressive and high, but when you're sitting down here, way back, it feels like that's where you belong 24/7 on the bike. It changes the ergonomics of the whole bike, right? Yeah. Yep. And I think the center of gravity, everything's affected, and in a very positive way. I just, you know, comfort-wise, this bike is definitely built for the track.
More aggressive.
Deceleration feels really good on it. It feels kind of like my bike, and I don't even have a crossplane.
Yeah.
When you decelerate, it really slows the bike down a lot. So I love having a motorcycle that is not just nimble, but very torquey and responsive, because most of these back roads, you don't even have to use brakes.
Yeah.
You just decelerate before a turn, you know, or, you know, accelerate out of the turn or whatever, and the bike is very responsive when it comes to that. I would like to play with the suspension settings a little bit. I am at 238 pounds right now, so it feels a little saggy to me. You know, the suspension feels a little...
Yeah, I got you. Soft.
You know, yeah.
Even in the hardest setting. Well, it's not the hardest setting, but...
The engine sound compared to any other motorcycle is, I don't know, man. It's so unique, you know.
I like it too.
We ride so many Ducatis and so many different Ducati platforms that we get used to it, you know, and obviously they're unique as well. But these, like the inline 4, the crossplane, they scream, man, at higher RPMs, you know. And this thing at Redline's at like 13.5 or 14,000.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine what that's going to sound like when it's broken in with the exhaust. It's going to be insane.
It sounds really exotic.
Yeah. It sounds like a Formula One, I think, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super stoked to get some more parts on this thing, take it out for take it out on more rides, you know.
What are things that you don't like about it?
Honestly, the aggressive seating is really something that if I was to track this thing all the time, it would be like perfect.
Yep.
But I would want it a little bit more comfortable because I feel like I'm smashing up against the fuel tank.
Yep, I thought the same thing. Yeah.
You know, if I sit back here, it is more comfortable, but now I'm like laying on it. You know?
Yep.
Another thing I would change about it, obviously the brakes, I would do something about them.
Yep.
I think the biggest upgrade would be like some like really good brake pads, you know, brake pad upgrade, or
I read that too.
Or just go into like a new caliper and master
combo. That's what we're gonna do.
Clutch feels perfect. I don't have any issues with the clutch at all.
I didn't either.
I love the mechanical feel. It's very smooth. My bike feels a little clunkier. I don't know if that's because, you know,
it's 15 years old.
It's been well abused. But yeah, I don't really have much to complain about it right now. But also the roads are kind of shit, and I'm a little skeptical.
It's not like we can push it or anything.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
It's hard because like we got a late start.
No, yeah. I mean, it's just for funsies. That bike is gonna... Well, actually, this should beat it off the jump.
You think so?
Yeah, this has more torque and power.
I think that bike feels like a damn couch on wheels, and this bike feels like a fucking rocket. But in all reality, I think you're right.
This to 100 beats almost anything.
Oh yeah.
And after that, you would start pulling away for sure.
And it feels like you could still take a little nap and wake up, and you'll be all right.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
The front end floats on this like every gear.
Dude, mine was too over that hill.
I was just like hitting it a little bit, you know?
Oh, I could tell. But this, like I said, this bike lives between 1 and 100. That's literally what it was built for.
That's amazing.
On a highway, if we did like a 60 roll, you would be gone, you know?
But that's what I love about that bike. It's so much fun, you know?
It's fun factor.
I could care less about taking it like to the beach or something, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Trailer it there and enjoy it.
So dope, yep.
Perfect.
All right, we made it back safe and sound. Absolutely glorious day. Dado was kicking rocks all over me on the way back.
I like this bike a lot.
It's sick. It's really sick. It's just too quiet right now, and the brakes suck. Wouldn't you say that's about the extent of the bike right now?
Yeah, honestly, if I didn't feel like I was 7 feet up in the air, it would be a perfect. Like even with the brake fade.
I told him he looks very cramped on this. The pegs are super high and the seat's really high, and you're really jamming.
I mean, if I had to bitch about it, you know.
Yeah, we're nitpicking, but I say we go inside, have a glass of whiskey, and do a sign out.
Yeah, I think we
that
deserve it, you know.
I think so too.
It was a hard day. We had a hard day.
All right, so we came inside. I told Dado, let's bust open the smoked whiskey set. Look at that thing. It looks so good. Dado, it's holding up really nice too.
Is it?
Yeah,
better.
look at that. Yeah, I know, right? So why don't we bust out the kit and our glasses. That's the one thing about smoking whiskey. It makes your glasses really dirty, and if you just rinse them with water like I do,
they don't really clean.
They don't clean it.
You need a little spongy. You know?
I know. Normally I do. It's just not.
It just comes down to laziness.
What are you doing up there?
Trading real wine for fake wine.
Do you want me to do this? Oh, Jesus Christ. Actually, let me cut this. All right, I know this is a weird thing to show, but the ice that we have here, it goes through our reverse osmosis system, and we have well water. They're beautiful. Like, they're so clear, and they last for freaking ever because there's not as much air in them. Anyway, weird thing to show, but I love my ice. I didn't have an ice maker at my old place, so every time I wanted ice, I had to get the stupid things out and like the plastic ones, and it was a big pain in the ass. So I really appreciate my nice ice at our new place. All right, what do we have in Dado?
Nice ice.
What do you want to do? We got the Fittic 15 Oban. I've never tried smoked.
Okay,
we're gonna try that. Yeah, this is really good.
I wonder what that is.
It's a $100 bottle. This guy right here. So let's pour this up. I don't know what it is, but I love the way whiskey sounds just being poured into a glass. It's probably just because I'm a raging alcoholic. Do you want to just finish that, or?
I was gonna say that's typically what alcoholics say. Yeah, let's just followed by. Do you want to just finish that?
to Dado at the end of my video because Phil, I said I was starting to realize something. All of my best friends in life, including myself. Now, I would, when I say we're alcoholics, I'm joking around. We like to drink, but we're not, I mean, alcoholics they need help, you know? And that's not a thing to joke about. But all my good friends, we all like to drink a lot.
Here's the crazy
you, me,
thing.
Phil, my brother.
The craziest thing about me is I can go months without having a single drink, and this is so weird. And
I can't do that.
Yeah, I'll go a month without touching anything. If I don't feel like drinking, I don't do it.
Yeah.
You know? But like, there's something about like being in the shop and wrenching and relaxing and having a good time. So typically, the only time I'm drinking, very seldom do I like, now that it's getting nice out, I like to sit on the back deck, you know? But other than that, it's crazy to me, you know? And people are like, how do you do it, you know?
Yeah.
Because people that drink a lot typically can't not drink, you know?
Yeah. For me, it helps me go to sleep, honestly. That's a big sleep aid. It's a depressant. Anyway, all right, we got our oven in here, and let's smoke this bitch. And then we're using our, like I said, smoked whiskey kit Dado made for me for my birthday. And this exciting thing about this, guys, March 1st, Dado's website is gonna be live. So if you want these by themselves or kits, there's gonna be limited edition kits, there's gonna be regular kits, you can have custom ones built, you can get just smokers, whatever you want, they're all gonna be on Dado's website. Look at that. That is so freaking sick. So it's coming, March 1st. It's gonna
March 1st,
It's
that's
gonna be
the date.
badass. The best place I would say to keep up to date with all that is on his Instagram. So it's just
Absolutely.
at Dado Made. Go over there. He's gonna be announcing it. I'll be announcing it. You'll know whenever it's live. Look at this. This is so awesome. All right, look at this. We got our smoked whiskey. All of our liquor in the background. Dude, cheers.
Cheers. It's
Doesn't get
amazing.
any better. Notice we drink after we ride. We do not ride and drink or drink and drive.
No.
I will never. We love alcohol, but that's putting other people's lives in danger.
I always
Including
say,
your own.
I never drink and ride because I'm afraid to spill it. But yeah, this is amazing. This is really
First
good
time
smoked.
Whoa, that is unique. And you know what? Usually it's sometimes smoking whiskey can smooth it out too much for me. Like a really good flavor, but this one still has a lot of flavor.
Yeah, it does. This is amazing. Okay.
Wow, that's
This is
good.
one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Really, I agree. That's one of my favorites as well. Oben, if you haven't had it, try it. Smoked kits are coming soon. And just to sign out the video, final thoughts on the R1M. It's a great bike.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
The whole way back, I'm like, I'm happy.
Does it have a nostalgic feeling for you?
I
Remind
think
you of
deep down,
the old
I didn't
bike?
want to admit it, but deep down, I didn't want to be disappointed because
Yeah.
I was looking for so much.
Yeah.
It's an R1M, you know?
Yeah.
But like I pulled up with my car and I saw it in the sun and I was like, oh shit.
It looks good.
Like
It has a
the
presence.
carbon, the quality of the paintwork,
The blue
everything.
wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just imagine with a full exhaust.
I
and
know.
all the other
I'm
things.
so excited.
But riding it, it's a rocket ship off the start. You
It
know?
is.
It
has a lot of power. Even
Yeah.
though it's technically underpowered compared to the other leader bikes. It doesn't feel it.
Very torquey. I love the gearing on. I think it's just because it reminds me of my bike.
Mm-hmm.
But that feeling and that sound of that engine of the crossplane, like
So good.
especially when you get up to like 7, 8, 9,000 RPMs, you can really start to hear it, lose vibrations. It's unlike any other engine ever.
I think I would say it's one of the best.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're gonna lose our minds when we got a full exhaust and a tune on it.
Me
you
too.
know?
And brakes.
And actual brakes. I told Jared, I'm like, I think the deceleration, the engine braking is better than the actual brakes.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah,
yeah, I
I'm
think
happy.
that's it.
I'm so glad we rode today.
I know, dude. Fuck yeah. Thank God we're coming into spring. So I hope you guys are all able to get out there and ride if it's warm in your area. And that's it. We're gonna probably the rest of this week, tomorrow we're filming with the SP. We've got probably 2 more install videos and that bike's gonna be ready to ride. So hopefully we'll get some good weather in the next week or 2 to ride that thing.
I'm excited for that.
Dude, that's
We haven't
gonna
ridden
be-
that in
No,
how
in
long?
months, dude. Months, yeah. So don't forget, guys, patreon.com/Campisi Customs. It's a great way to support us. That's how we do these build series. And then you're entered to win the bikes whenever they're done as well. Dado's gonna have custom smoker kits coming and along with other a lot of really cool stuff, which people have been asking for months. So yeah, a lot of good stuff going on, and it's all because of you guys. So just massive thank you. We are very thankful for what we get to do, and we're glad that you guys appreciate all the content, and stay tuned for more.
Hey,
so
cheers.
Cheers to you guys. Subscribe to the video, like it if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.